Hello, I'm Dr. Mary McLeod, and my question for you today is: have you been talking yourself out of finding love? It's easy to find a multitude of excuses as to why we can't find a decent man, and so maybe we should just give up. You might have come to the conclusion that you're actually, better off on your own. You're far too busy to incorporate a man into your life. You have to concentrate on your kids, or you never come into contact with decent men anyway. The whole thing seems too risky and a waste of time. Well, I'm here to debunk all of these excuses, as you might imagine, and remind you that you really do want to find a happy relationship with a guy who's right for you. I repeat, one who's right for you. The right guy will enhance your life in lots of ways. So now I'm going to take down some of the most common excuses I hear from women I work with as to why they're not getting on with the job of finding the right man, and I'll show you how you can turn things around. So, the first excuse is there are no decent men out there. It's easy to feel that there are no decent guys because, we just don't see decent guys anywhere. We don't come into contact with them. We don't believe they exist. But I've got news for you. There really are good men out there, but we don't notice them because the ones who approach us, the ones who get in our face, whether that's online or in real life, they tend to be the players, the super confident ones who are well practiced with women and don't care that much what other people think. The nice guys, the men who would make good relationship material, they might not be quite so confident and they do care what people think and they're more respectful. So, for those reasons, they're less likely to approach you. It's not that, they don't want to talk to you, they're more concerned that you might not want to talk to them. So it's time then to make yourself more approachable to the good guys. So imagine, you're in a cafe or a bar or an event of some kind. Firstly, make yourself available to talk to. Get off your phone, maybe arrive a bit early so that you're on your own for a while and, someone can come up and speak to you. Don't always go out in a group. You could go out just you and a friend, have a wing woman who knows when to hang back where appropriate. That's a really good thing to do. Next thing is get near to him, stand next to him at the bar or choose a table next to his. That might sound really obvious, but you need to be bold and take any chances available if you don't want to miss opportunities. Another thing is make eye contact. If you catch his eye, you might automatically feel the need to immediately look away. But that doesn't show much interest, and you need to make it pretty obvious to a good guy that you're interested before he gets it. So when you make eye contact with him, hold that eye contact for a little bit longer than is maybe necessary or normal. He should get a bit of a hint, especially if you do it again. And smile. There's nothing as inviting as a smile, obviously. Um, but of course, you don't have to wait for him to speak to you. We're modern women, it's the 21st century, we can speak to men. I know that's not exactly a revolutionary idea, but a lot of women do see it as the job of the man to make the first move. So you can do it. Go speak to him. Okay, excuse number two is I'm too fat, or too thin, or too tall, whatever it is. Okay, this is not an excuse. We tend to have a very narrow idea of what is physically attractive. And research suggests that that's because of what gets served up to us in the media. But in the real world, men vary hugely in what sort of look or body type they're into. And this comes down to all different things like their personalities, their own experience of the world and the people in it, their own body size as well, their age, how tough their environment is, all sorts of things. The truth is, everyone likes different things. So, whether you're a big voluptuous lady or a wee skinny malink, there are a bunch of guys who are well into you. There will always be a cohort of men that like your type. Maybe you're not so concerned about your body type, but you worry about other things like maybe you feel that you're too nerdy or too hippie-ish or maybe too much of a fitness fanatic, whatever. Well, I'm here to tell you, you don't need to worry about that because research shows us that these unique qualities, your quirks, your idiosyncrasies, these things are far more important in being attracted to the guys who are into you, who are right for you. Sure, if you're a super intellectual and love to spend your time discussing philosophy or something, yeah, you will put a lot of guys off. But who cares? You don't want them. for the men who are into your type of thing, they're going to be really impressed. So don't hide yourself. Be proud of who you are, and the right guys will love you for it. Right, excuse number 3. I haven't got time for a man. Women often say to me, I'd love a partner, but I'm so busy, I just don't know how it would fit into my life. So maybe you feel like this. Perhaps you're looking after an elderly parent as well as being up to your ears with work, or maybe you want to prioritize your time for your kids. Having a romantic relationship on top of all that can be incredibly draining if you're with a guy who keeps you on an emotional roller coaster, one who doesn't support you. But if you're with the right kind of guy, he's going to have your back. He'll help you. He'll give you more time. I'm speaking from experience here. I've had plenty of difficult relationships, the ones that leave you emotionally exhausted. But having changed my search criteria and found a really good guy, who's now my lovely husband, I now know that a good relationship creates energy. A secure, caring man will support you with your challenges. He'll have your back. If you find a guy with the traits needed for a high quality relationship, and I can show you how, you won't need to choose between your man and your projects or your kids. He'll be on your side, helping you every step of the way. Okay, so number 4 excuse is men prefer dumb women. Well, actually, you're right. Some men do prefer dumb women, but I strongly suspect these men are not the ones you want. So some research that came out of California State University looked at what men are attracted to. Oh, and by the way, I'll put the links to all of the research that I'm mentioning into the text version of this. That'll go into my blog at datingevolve.com. I don't just say research says blah, blah, blah without actually knowing the research itself. Anyway, the research team had pictures of various women in various situations and contexts and showed them to a bunch of male participants in the research. The women that the men found most attractive overall were the ones they perceived to look unintelligent, immature, drunk, promiscuous, and young. Well, that's a bit worrying, isn't it? And the reason they found them attractive was because they perceived these women to be sexually exploitable, to be easy prey. That's why they found them attractive. But of course, not all men are out to exploit a woman. A follow-up study showed that men as a group are reassuringly much more nuanced and complicated than that. So the follow-up study basically showed that the men who were accounting for this effect, the ones who were most attracted to women who looked sexually available or exploitable, were ones who were, firstly, not in relationships themselves, secondly, had personalities low in agreeableness, which basically means they're lacking empathy, and C, were mostly inclined to have casual sex. That last bit's not really surprising, I suppose. So men who are out for a quick fling or a one-night stand, they're the ones who find less than intelligent women attractive, basically because they think they'll be more likely to get a woman like that into bed. When men are on the lookout for a long-term partner, though, they tend to be looking for something else entirely. So, a man generally doesn't want his long-term girlfriend or wife to come over as sexually exploitable and available because, she might be sexually available to other men. So, in the study, higher intelligence, less attention-seeking behaviour, being less promiscuous, those were all associated with being more attractive. The bottom line then, men like intelligence in a long-term partner. That said, various research suggests that men are a bit overwhelmed by a woman who totally outsmart them. Not all men, but a lot of men. And, maybe you're thinking, well, poor them. But the thing is, many men see their role as providers and protectors. And if their woman is smarter than they are, some men get left feeling like a spare part. It's worth bearing in mind. So, if you're a super intelligent woman, you might want to show some appreciation for the things he's good at so that he can feel smart too sometimes. Oh, hi Susan. You're saying that you're struggling to get this as the video keeps breaking up. It will be available in record, and if for some reason it's not working very well, I'll re-record it and put it on the page. Anyway, In general, men value intelligence when they get together with someone long term. So anybody thinking of acting dumb to attract a man, it might well work, but you might find that you attract the type of man who's attracted to dumb women, and you maybe don't want that. Okay, so number 5 excuse. The idea of online dating gives me the fear. Yep, I know where you're coming from on this one. I remember when I was doing online dating, and sometimes the guys on there were pretty scary looking, and when they sent messages, they didn't seem to have engaged their brains. Possibly other parts of their bodies, but not their brain. But there are good guys online, and if you think about it, they're probably having just as hard a time with the whole online dating thing as we are. Often we don't see these guys though because, just like in real life, it's the players who are popping up all the time and doing the scattergun thing of sending out meaningless messages to see who they might be able to hook in. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your precious time on these guys. One thing I'd suggest is getting specific with the things you say in your profile. Paint a picture of what an interesting, fabulous life you have and have him think how lucky he'd be to be part of it. Rather than list the attributes you want in a man, honesty, kindness, these tend to be pretty similar in all women's profiles, and that's not going to grab his attention. Instead, give him examples of stuff you do and then maybe challenge him to join you or be able to keep up with you. Rather than say you like travelling, tell him about the next adventure that you've got planned and ask if he'd like to come or if he's got a better suggestion. I'm not talking about messaging here, I'm talking about in your profile. So this is sort of hypothetical, you're not committing yourself to anything. Tell him that you're looking for a guy who can do X, Y, or Z. And then the right man will think, that's me, I'm that guy. And he'll want to get in touch. So it's a good idea to get some specifics into your profile. Remember the stuff about uniqueness being important that I was talking about. And ask questions. That way, if a guy messages you without mentioning any of the stuff on your profile, you'll know that he's not serious about a proper relationship. He's just using the scattergun approach. But if he does message with an answer to a specific question or shows, he's really read your profile, well, that's a good first sign, isn't it? Okay, the last excuse, number 6, I only ever meet emotionally unavailable men. Now, this is quite a common complaint, but I'd hazard a guess that it's not that you only ever meet emotionally unavailable men, but that you discount the men who are more emotionally secure, perhaps. The secure ones who could meet your needs are there, but they maybe don't seem so exciting. Now, what we call emotionally unavailable men are often avoidantly attached. So this means that they have a history of insecure relationships and they deal with that by keeping their partners at arm's length and not letting themselves get in too deep. So they might behave like they're besotted with you one minute and then backing right off the next when you try to get close. So, imagine this kind of scenario. See if you recognize it. When you first get together with a guy, you're getting mixed signals. Your man is clearly interested, but he doesn't do anything to make you feel like you're the one. He takes his time about calling you. You're not sure what his intentions are. And because he's not being clear, it gets you obsessing over the relationship. Then, maybe he buys you a romantic gift or takes you on a lovely date and he says nice things and you feel, yes, he's really into you after all. So you end up going up and down on this roller coaster, going from feeling elated and in love to feeling rejected and despondent, and then maybe back up again. Many of us have a habit of mistaking all this craziness and madness for passion and love. But it's not love. Actually, love is when you can enjoy peace of mind and know that he's there for you. What you really need is a secure guy. This is someone who's going to see your well-being as their responsibility, and they'll be a lot more consistent and reliable. So you need to avoid the avoidance. How do you tell? Well, if he gets uncomfortable and backs off when you express your needs in the relationship, then he's probably avoidant. And give a secure guy a chance. He might not seem quite as exciting at first, but he will grow on you and you'll stand a much better chance of having a relationship that makes you happy then. So when you first get together with a guy, instead of asking yourself, does he like me? How can I make myself attractive for him? A better question is, does this man have what it takes to have a happy relationship with me? That's how to find yourself a good guy. So, those are 6 excuses you can't use anymore to hold you back from finding a good man. Do any of these points resonate with you? Let me know. It's not an exhaustive list, of course. If your excuse isn't, in my list, let me know and I'll get back to you with my thoughts in another session. And I'd love to help you. If you'd like to check out my program or free resources, just go to my website, datingevolved.com. And if you go to the contact page there, you can book a free call with me and we can have a chat. I would love to help you find your man. Thank you very much.